Hello and welcome back to the 7th chapter. Today we'll be looking at Peraturan bagi Pemimjaman Buku di Perpustakaan, which means the rules for borrowing books. So if you look at A, umum means general, majalah means magazine, newspaper and files cannot be borrowed by any students. Teachers are allowed if they so wish, but students are not allowed. That includes us librarians. We cannot borrow any of those things. And for normal students, they can only borrow up to 2 books. That's the maximum. 2 books. Doesn't matter if it's comics, if it's novel, or it's reference books. Reference book means the books that you use to study. And third, students are required to have a card, like a library card, in order to borrow any books. So if they don't have this specific card, they cannot borrow anything whatsoever. This card usually contains their student ID, like a specific, very unique student ID that only they have. So it's like a one-time code. And fourth, like we mentioned before in the previous chapters, the period to borrow books is only 7 days. So you have to return the books within 7 days. If you go any further, like on the 8th day, then you have to be charged 10 cents per day. 5. Like we mentioned earlier, you are required to pay 10 cents for each of the day that you are late. So if you return the book after 14 days, then you will be charged 70 cents. So 6. If a student lost their book, that student is required to pay back in either cash or buy back the exact same book and return it. So that's 2 ways that a student can pay back, using either cash or buying a brand new book. In category B, for teachers, teachers are allowed to borrow up to 3 books if they so wish. This applies to school staff as well. Any school staff are allowed to borrow up to 3 books. And this also applies to us, librarians. We are also allowed to borrow up to 3 books. But you can borrow less, you can borrow up to 2 or 1, that's fine. That's not an issue. But the maximum is 3 for teachers and librarians. And the maximum for students is 2. They can borrow 1, they can borrow 2, but no more. And that's it. It's pretty short for chapter 7. I will see you in the next chapter.